that's what resonates with you, do that.
17 minutes.
17 minutes for the whole meditation. Babies are already meditating, they don't have any emotional baggage.
How early can you start meditation?
As early as you breathe. But whatever meditation you do, nothing is right or wrong. As I said, got 10 types of different breathing meditations of how to get rid of anxiety, pain, depression. There are a number of meditations that you can choose from.
Small actions, and then it becomes a habit, and you can take bigger actions effortlessly.
The first is decluttering, second is eating, third is sleeping well. So
welcome back to the last and the fifth episode of Head to Heart on Fazza Podcast. I'm your host Anu, and with me I have my regular guest, Dr. Renu Khetan. As you already know, Renu is a consultant pediatrician, but also the author of this grand book we have been discussing, A Badass Meditator. But if you have followed our previous 4 episodes of podcast, you would have heard that we are just not discussing what's in the book. Rather, we are discussing how to bring success in life. That was the agenda of Head to Heart. She started from explaining why this is called Head to Heart. From there to the 8 steps of the meditation ladder has already been discussed. So I will initiate this episode by discussing what happens next. Welcome, Renu.
Hi.
I'll go immediately to the question that has been bugging me for quite some time. We discussed the 8 steps of the meditation ladder. We have seen all the benefits that come out of it. But can you practice all the 8 steps each and every day? Is it possible?
It is possible if you want to do that. It's absolutely possible. But it will take time to do it as one fluid action. As I said before, when you learn driving, you do one step at a time, and then as you go ahead, when you fluently drive, you don't have to think about each step and you just do it subconsciously.
Right.
So similarly, for this particular meditation and also the steps that we've discussed, they are very, very arbitrary. They are not dug in stone that it has to be done that way. There's no right or wrong way to do meditation as long as you understand the basic scientific concepts behind them. So to answer your question, if you want to do it every day and if that's what resonates with you, do that. But sometimes if you feel that you can't do all of it and you only want to do until step 2, step 1, do that. And then give your 100% to that. And then next time round, when you are more able to, go a step ahead. So there's no stopping. If you feel very tired one day and you just want to release all the tiredness out of you, you can do breathing and physical relaxation. Another day you feel that you are very, very angry, anxious, restless, then you can practice the first 6. The 6th one is grounding. You can go up to grounding, ground everything, feel relieved, and go ahead with your day. But
in such a situation, how long do you think one should be doing it? Like a minimum, how much? Maximum can go up to anything.
So one QR code is the workbook that you have to work around, and the other QR code is a recorded meditation. So if you want to do the whole meditation with someone prompting you, then you can scan that QR code and do it 17 minutes.
Only 17 minutes?
17 minutes for the whole meditation.
All the 8 steps?
All the 8 steps.
That's quite less. I mean, I wasn't expecting everything to be wrapped up in 17 minutes.
But if you think, I think you can give it a go and see if it works for you. If it doesn't work, start from step 1. Make sure you know what you're doing in step 1. Read the book. Practice. Don't be in a rush to read the whole of it because you won't understand. So take one step, take a couple of weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, do one step thoroughly, then go to the next, then go to the next. And then you will realize that the first step is actually very easy. It's the easiest one. Then you will realize that the first 3 steps are easiest, and then you will realize that it's just very easy once you know what you're doing.
So if 17 minutes is what in question, then I think for most of us 17 minutes is doable.
Yeah.
Very much doable. And Renu, can we start practicing without even reading a single page of the book? And scanning the QR codes and just listening to what is being said, can we just follow that and we'll be able to do?
Yeah, and the audio version of the book is coming soon. It's almost ready. As you can use that audio version, will be better to understand. Sometimes people find it too much of information if you try to read it too fast. But once you listen to it, it acts in a different way.
Yeah, it becomes kind of sometimes all our senses involved, it becomes self-explanatory or not so much, it does not demand so much of our concentration.
Effort, yeah.
And sometimes if we are relaxing, we still can listen to the book. Yeah. Keep your eyes closed and then you're just listening and you can relax. Wonderful. So you are saying meditation can be as easy as driving. And once you are a practiced driver, I must say, many of us actually enjoy driving.
Yeah.
We go out to relax, and when we go out, we are driving. Driving is relaxation for us.
Yeah.
So you are saying that meditation can become that happening. It can become a mode of relaxation. It can be a beautiful experience, regular experience.
Yeah, in all honesty, after working the whole day, I'm so eager to go to be with myself. I think your own breath can be so relaxing when you know that you can heal yourself, you can let go of everything through the breath. Your breath is the medium for everything.
So most of us who have not had the experience of this will not be able to actually understand, probably. But I can clearly relate to when you gave the example of driving. I clearly relate to that. So I can now understand what you're saying, that your breath can be so healing and relaxing.
Yeah. So we underestimate the value of the breath. We underestimate and we use it in all sorts of ways. But actually, when you are consciously breathing also, and you learn the art of even breathing, even when you are sleeping, whenever you are a little bit awake, you try to consciously breathe in a particular pace. That itself is quite a big thing, and that will channelize you to the rest of the steps.
Okay, but I have a quick question to ask. While concentrating on something, for example, concentrating on breathing, the one obstacle that stops us from concentrating completely onto that activity is the thought.
Yeah, and it's a very good question. Thoughts are the most annoying and naughty things that come, and it is, as I said before also, I think that as the heart beats, our mind thinks. The whole art of meditation is not to silence the thought. The thoughts will not be silenced. You can't silence thoughts. What you need to do is keep the positive ones and ignore the negative ones. You have to minimize the noise of negative ones, and it only comes with practice. It's easy said than done, but that's what it is. There are two types of thoughts: connected thoughts and not connected thoughts. So you completely have to ignore the thoughts that come and go. The thoughts that are connected, they come repeatedly. They cause a lot of emotional upheaval. And those are the thoughts that you have to calm down.
Okay.
So in meditation, when you've reached that alpha state, and when you have these thoughts, you have to divert to the thoughts that are positive, to get that positive chemistry, to rewire your brain, so that you then think in that way. I told you about the emotional state to start with. Everything is about the emotional state, and if you shift that emotional state, you can shift everything. So if you shift that negative emotion to positive, you can shift a lot of things. So your aim should be that if I have negative emotions, how can I think positive instead? Which thoughts would I prefer to think more? So that the negative thoughts are silenced. The thoughts will not stop, but you have to choose the right ones.
Okay. One other question. Can we have cheat days?
Yes, if you don't feel like, there's no point in sitting and doing it when you can't.
Yeah, I remember having asked this particular question earlier, even. I keep repeating this. The reason is because when the mind knows there is no way to cheat, meaning there is no way to escape, and you're bound by something, that binding does not feel
Just
good
be
or right.
flexible. Just be flexible. I meditate in the morning, but sometimes if I can't, I choose another time in the day, or sometimes I just don't do it. If even if sometimes if you meditate a lot, you have some vibration that is constantly going on. So I don't do deliberately some days to just balance out that energy. Sometimes you have too much of energy, and then you have to ground the positive energy also.
Oh,
Sometimes you have a lot of energy after it, and you just have to sit down for 10-15 minutes to release that energy also. So it's too bad to have to be extreme in an extreme situation.
all right. Normally, how does your meditation regime look like? How long do you perform it for?
I have a good amount of me time in the morning, and I love it because
So you don't call it meditation time, that's a me time.
it's me time, but that involves a lot of different things. So I wake up, but I wake up first. Again, it depends on my mood, but 99% of the time I wake up and sit on the bed itself with a good backrest, not necessarily sitting up straight, or sometimes I just lie down and do also whatever suits me that day. The main thing is that I understand the principles behind them, not the posture particularly. Although some people would say you have to sit straight and all that, so you can do that also, but for me, I do what resonates with me. So I start with that, and start with whatever state of mind I'm in. I say I'm very relaxed, and I feel that I don't have any pain anywhere, no anxiety, no restlessness of anything, no baggage with me. I do the first few steps very fast and reach to visualization and mental rehearsal.
Oh,
So I have an app called Solvana.
okay.
There's an app called Solvana, there's an app called Calm. So you can download any app again, or just go on YouTube, and once you have a regular habit, you can choose, you have a cluster of meditations that you like, and you can select one of them.
What are these to choose from? I mean,
So there are various meditations. The Solvana app has got like good thousands of meditation in there. So if you want to choose manifestation, or if you want to choose bliss, or you want to choose anxiety, so then they give you selection of those meditation.
okay.
But whatever meditation you do, nothing is right or wrong. As I said, just follow these steps.
Okay.
If I'm choosing from any any website, if I'm choosing a meditation, you welcome to do that, as long as you follow the steps.
So do you think there are different recipes to different kinds of meditation?
So the meditation ladder, which we haven't discussed so far, is, say, meditation ladder is like a building. Yeah, there are 8 floors. Each floor is so breathing is first floor. In that breathing, the meditations that are available everywhere were 10 types of different breathing meditations. So you can decorate that particular floor in the way you want.
Oh,
So there are so many meditations in that breathing section. Then physical relaxation, body scan, all sorts of.
could you give us some example, a very
Say
quick
if
example?
so, say if you have if you are on the 6th floor, the grounding, there are so many meditations of how to get rid of anxiety, pain, depression. There are a number of meditations that you can choose from in that floor. So there are vipassana or transcendental is again on the sixth level. So that all the meditations that are available in the market, they belong to one of these floors.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm trying to say is, you don't
There's
necessarily.
quite a variety then
Yes.
to enjoy.
But if you do but you can either choose to go straight to that, or you can do all of them in sequence. But just as long as you remember the science behind it.
Correct. Okay. So your book mentions something called must know, must have, and must do. Well, that took me by surprise, but I would leave it on to you to relate the essence
Yeah.
of these three to our viewers.
Can I
What
ask
do
you
they-
what was surprising?
No, meaning how you had divided it into three sections
Yes.
was very interesting.
Yeah.
So,
I think historically I have been presenting in this way.
okay.
This is the way I learn. That I want to know and what I need resources wise and what actions do I need to take
Okay.
for everything. So this was not a news for me, but so must know is all about science behind meditation. So it's
Okay.
about neuroanatomy, neuroplasticity, the chemicals, neurochemistry, epigenetics, quantum physics. So these 5-6 things are put in must know section.
So these are the resources based on what scientifically you
Yeah.
can understand or decipher
Yes.
the power of meditation.
So it is
Right.
all about how it all works. So the knowledge about, so must know. You
Must
have
know.
to know. If you don't know, if there is no knowledge and only experience, it is chaos. Must have is what you need, what little things you need. So you need a good, conducive environment. You need a sacred space in your house. It can be any corner of the house. You can decorate it the way you want: plants, candles, aroma, little music, cushions, whatever makes you feel good. So I have all those things.
So
And
me
I-
time in your me space.
Yeah, so now my me space is my bed, but normally you should have a separate space so that you have different energies. Otherwise,
But
want
then
to
you are
sleep.
giving people the liberty of
Yes.
using any place
Yes, so
as
you,
the me
you
space.
develop that space. The book also mentions how to develop the habit of meditation, the habit loop. So that particular theme is derived from two other books that I have, Atomic Habits. And there's another book, can't remember the name now. So two books I had read, and they were like solid foundation of how to develop a habit, easy ways to develop a habit. So there is a summary of that in that section. So must know, must have, and must do. So if you are knowing but not doing, that means you're not knowing.
Okay.
So you have to know, if you want to do for transformation, you have to know and do both. And the heart of the book is the steps of meditation. So pre-ritual, pre-meditation ritual, and meditation ladder. So you should ideally do both to get the best effect, and you should block your time.
Okay. Okay. That sounds great. And so I'm coming towards the conclusion that once you have known the reasons behind, and the reason for this podcast was those who are not into so much of reading, and because the audiobook is still not out, it's just about going to be out into the market, which would help many more people. But if you are not using that, then just by listening to the person who has written this book, you should have got some basic information about what is the science behind meditation and how that could help you. Maybe quite in short, the book is quite in depth, and it talks about different areas of body and mind and the science behind meditation. But once you know it and you have the resources around, I mean, and the resources once again are very flexible. You can have anything or nothing. It's completely your choice to have or not to have. And then if you perform, that is, you do, you act towards it, then you can become a badass meditator. Am I right?
Yeah, you have to implement. I think you have to take inspired action. Meditation alone is not going to give you what you want. It will inspire you to take inspired action. It will motivate you to take inspired action. And daily small action that you can journal. What are you going to do today? I sometimes put down, I will just smile at everyone I see. That's effortless, isn't it? You don't smile. You are just in your own world so much that you don't even smile at people. So I just put that, I will be confident today. And by the way I mean is, who will I be? I will be like one of my professors who used to put the chin up, chest up, and give a confident way of talking loudly, confidently, or at least I will be good to, I'll be kind to someone. So just make a list of those things in your book. Take action. That is what it means.
So you start with small actions and then it becomes a habit and you can take bigger
Yeah.
actions effortlessly.
Yeah.
Probably that's the key.
Yeah.
But why badass? Why this name?
Yeah. So I think you have to put the wine, the old wine, in a bottle, or perhaps in a language that people understand. The generation that we are in, they understand this language. And to me, badass, people have come back and told me it is a controversial name. When you're talking about meditation, but equally you're saying it is badass, it is controversial. I said, it depends on the person, on what you think about it. To me, badass is, you are not just sitting with meditation, or meditating in a quiet space, running away from life, but you are actually facing challenges like a badass. You're becoming resilient, you're fearless, you're pushing your boundaries and achieving and changing your reality. You are healing yourself, you are that peak performer, and you are changing your life. So that is a badass. That meditation is badass. When you are actually making a big difference in your life, it's not just sitting and feeling peaceful or calm or sleeping well. It's not that. It just means that you are becoming better and better and better.
Okay. So we can keep improving and evolving through our entire life, through,
Absolutely.
whatever your age, whatever your choices, you still can be a badass for others. But the word resilience is key. Whether successful or not, whether happy or not,
Yeah.
first thing is to be resilient.
Yeah.
Because when you're resilient, you after any kind of trouble, disaster, you will get up.
Yeah. You'll bounce back.
You will bounce back.
Yeah.
So there's no fear of falling, there's no fear of losing. And that makes you a very strong person. And that's actually fearful for the rest of the world. They try not to mess with you because they know your strength comes from within. So, how much of meditation can contribute to making you this person?
A lot for me. I think I've changed in the last 5 years. Throughout my life, I used to feel that I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, I cannot have things that someone else is meant to have. That I always used to think that the self-image, self-confidence. I've worked very hard in meditation, and it has really transformed my life. So, although it might appear a hyperbole for you, but for me, that is a truth. So and that's what I want to convey to the audience, that meditation is, the word meditation has got a lot of eye rolling. People roll their eyes and think, oh, it's not going to work. What is it all about? I've tried, I've failed, but actually they don't know the crux. So they do need to know, they need to have this must know, must have, must do. It is a very systematic, it's a very researched writing, and it is meant to help.
Okay.
So looking forward for that.
Okay, great. Last but not the least, can you continue this journey of meditation and healing through your entire life?
That's what I aim to. I wish to grow, and I wish to be aligned with my values, with my vision. And I think I enjoy what I'm doing now. I enjoy meditating and spreading this awareness. And if it is impacting their life, there's nothing greater than that. But yeah, there are many other ways people. There's power of sleeping. There's power of decluttering. There is power of going in nature. There's power of gratitude. So, having said all that, you have to continue this journey throughout. to be able to reap its benefit. You have to continuously strive to increase your vibration. Remember, we said you have to raise your vibration to match to what you want. So similarly, you continue to raise your vibration in all ways to be able to manifest what you want.
Okay. And the ways to increase your vibration is through regular practice, is it?
Yeah, so regular meditation is one thing. The whole purpose of meditation is to raise the vibration and then seed your intention in that raised state so that you can manifest. The other ways that will enhance your meditation practice is I have described in the form of 7 powers.
Okay.
Okay, decluttering. So you have to declutter your mind, not only your space but also your mind.
So it's both decluttering your space and your mind.
Yeah?
Okay.
So
Mental space.
Mental space. Then healthy eating. So we've spoken a lot about healthy eating and gut. So there is a brain gut axis. So if you think the way you think, your gut also react and vice versa. So if you eat well, your brain is healthy as well.
Okay.
So eating well. So first is decluttering. Second is eating. Third is sleeping well. So the book also describes what you should do to sleep well. How comfortable, what temperature, how should be the bedding, how should be the light. It should be free from media and all that. So sleeping is the third one. Fourth one is having a good community around you. If you have a strong community of like-minded people or people who are doing better than you, if you are in their company, then you also try to thrive that way. So having a good company, power of gratitude. So again, being grateful. I write 10 things that I'm grateful to every day. I start with writing in the journal, I'm grateful. If I don't think of anything else, I just write, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. It just is very, very therapeutic. You should be grateful of what you have and before you yearn for something else. So gratitude, and then power of going around in nature. So walking barefooted will also ground, there is earthing in the, they say there is a good connection between your body and the ground. So you can walk barefooted. So that is another one of the other powers. And sweating and movement, exercise, that's the last one but not the least. So again, you sweat, you release all the toxins from your body. Exercising and movement it's not the last and certainly not the least.
Okay.
So these are the 7 powers that will raise your vibration and enhance your meditation.
So you mentioned decluttering, eating well, sleeping well,
community,
then the community you are in. So keep a great community, good community, a healthy one that inspires you for a better life.
Yeah.
Then comes the 5th one is gratitude. Be grateful to what you have, who you are, and for everything that you have got in life. Then
and
exercise. So did we count on 7?
They're all 7. Yeah.
So okay, so great. And exercising, definitely. It's and you mentioned walking barefoot and having that connection with the earth regularly is key. So yes, we have got all of that.
Yeah.
We have come to the absolute end of this series and learned so much from you, Renu. Would you like to give a message to our viewers, to the young people, to people our age group, to everybody? Firstly, I would request you to give a message to the very, very young people who not many of them are so interested in meditation.
Yeah.
What's your message to them?
That meditation is for everyone.
Okay.
It's not for religious people or spiritual people. It's not for people who are free and have nothing to do. So get your belief system right.
Okay.
So that's the first message, is it's for everyone. And you've seen it's not only for sitting calm and peace. You can actually change your life if you know the principles. But it takes time. So that's the second message. Third message, start small, stay consistent, and committed. So if anything is missing, then it's very hard to get the results. Then you should not blame that you're not getting the results, because you have got the knowledge, you have got the technique, the framework. It's your commitment now. We can only do so much, but the onus is on you now to act.
Absolute ending question of mine. How early can you start meditation?
As early as you breathe.
Oh my God. But you wouldn't expect that from a baby.
But a third, no, they are already meditating. Babies are already meditating. They don't have any emotional baggage. They don't have anything, any impressions. They are already in their in present.
So meditation helps us get back to the happiness that a baby is born with.
Childlike, yes.
Childlike, simplicity.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's a great way to end this discussion, and I'm absolutely thrilled to feel that meditation can help you get back to that state, the childlike state, the state where there is no baggage, the one with no I would say
No mask.
no
They're
mask,
not
no
wearing any
repentance,
mask.
no baggage whatsoever, and therefore the happiness in a child comes from every little thing that they see and feel, and they are so thankful at any time. So this is, I think, the most beautiful take from this podcast, that meditation can get you back to the simplest but the most happiest stage of your life, which is the baby-like stage. So the moment you, your child, your friends get to understand that the importance of meditation, just start doing it, acting on it. And here I bring an end to the series called Head to Heart in a very different way. I would say all that was in my head because I had picked up the book, I was going through it. Now that has touched my heart, and I am definitely going to practice it. Not today. Today it's quite late. From tomorrow onwards. And this is not an excuse. But yes, I can do it. When I go to bed, I can give 5 to 10 minutes of my time before I go into deep sleep, into really concentrating, thinking about my breath, being grateful for the day I have lived, being grateful to you for giving us all this information through all these 5 episodes of Head to Heart.
Just one thing before we end. When you think that you can't do after a hectic day, you can't spend 5 minutes, you can actually need to spend double the time,
Okay.
because that means you need it so badly.
That's a beautiful end.
So before you go to sleep, if you think you're too tired, you don't have time, actually you need to do it twice the time.
Okay, wonderful. So finishing at that note, that when you think you cannot do it, you're going to give double the time. Fantastic. So here we bring an absolute end to this discussion. For more, you have to wait for the audiobook to come out and for Renu to start her sessions. I'm definitely enrolling for it. And I will go and interview you there, and I'll interview every single person who is going to enroll with you and learn meditation.
Yeah.
And we'll figure out who learns the trick of meditation as best as you have, and you're enjoying it. I can see it. So definitely I'm going to do that. That will be next for you all.
By the way, if you want to read reviews and how this book has impacted people, it's all there on Amazon.
Oh.
There are multiple reviews of the book there. So please go ahead and read. It is impacting people, and if you read, please give us a review so that others also benefit from you.
Fantastic.
Lovely.
So stay healthy, stay hearty, and start meditating from now.
Cheerio.
Bye.